once upon a time, you could buy a video game from the store, put it in your console, turn on the console, and then the game plays. And that was it. I'm only 24 years old, and that seems like forever ago. Nowadays, when you put a game in, you have to wait for an update. You have to worry about if it's fixed or if it's broken. There are many other issues that comes with video games these days in general. Anyway, welcome back to the video channel, guys. It is new here. I'm here to talk about something that's kind of been itching on my brain for at least the last few days, especially since we have some new news that there is going to be another remake happening in the gaming scene, and it's quite the shocker, actually. But first off, I would like to talk about some certain things that, I find that I just personally just don't like with gaming, and I think a lot of people don't like with gaming as well. So here we're gonna talk about it. So one of the big things that was a big issue back maybe 4 or 5 years ago was the whole DLC craze. Now DLC isn't, I wouldn't say as much as an issue now. DLC still happens, but I feel like there is more quality put into DLC these days. But DLC used to be a big problem when it comes to games being incomplete, and then the publishers are selling bits and pieces of the game for DLC, saying that it's extra. In actuality, it was cut from the base game itself. Now, one game in particular that, reminds me of that was the original Destiny game back in the day. I think it was the first 3 expansions were a part of the original game, but because of Activision had Bungie cut it up in pieces just to sell it to make more money. DLC is not really a big problem for me personally, especially right now since there's more pressing matters to attend to. But here's the big one that you guys know about: remakes and remasters. Literally, the PS4 and Xbox One era was filled with a bunch of remakes and remasters, and it feels like it's going to be the same way for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. And the biggest thing I find is this news just really unsettled me and troubled me. We are getting a Last of Us remake for the PlayStation 5, apparently. I'm not joking, a Last of Us remake. Now, what does that mean? That means that a game that came out in 2013 on the PS3, alright? This game is still very good looking, very good, very fun to play still. But it was remastered on the PS4 to be able to be 4K 60 frames a second. And you're still able to play that game on a PS5 if you have one. Who asked for this? Now, one of the reasons why I think this is happening because of the Last of Us show, and I feel like they're going to change the character designs, maybe the level designs, and maybe they might change the voice actors for this Last of Us remake game. I wouldn't be surprised if they do, but if they're going to release it in tandem with the Last of Us show, it's just why? Who asked for this? Who asked for a Last of Us remake? Especially after last year with the crap show as Last of Us Part 2. And this is a big thing I like to talk about a lot on my channel. It's 2 games that I've talked about a lot on my channel that just honestly from 2020 just cannot escape my brain. And Last of Us Part 2 was one of them. That game was I just don't even want to talk about it, really. So remakes are a big problem. Another big thing that's happening right now that's causing so much issues in gaming is incomplete games. And what do you mean by incomplete games, D? Well, have you guys heard of Cyberpunk 2077? Came out in December, had some hype behind it. Well, hype is an understatement. Had a lot of hype behind it. Hired a very well-known and loved actor to be in the game, which is probably what most of their budget went to anyway. Cyberpunk was filled with nothing but glitches and disappointment and just a whole bunch of crap that just nobody talks about anymore, and the game is still not even in a full working state. This is another issue with games, is that now with the ability of the internet and everything, you can ship a game a broken mess and then fix it later. And people actually pay for this. And, me personally, I have pretty much all of us have fallen into the whole, we are excited for a game, bought it, it's broken, oh, we'll fix it later with patches and updates. That'll teach them. And it's the same thing over and over again, and it's not going to stop unless people stop buying and pre-ordering games, which is why I don't really necessarily pre-order games anymore unless I'm absolutely sure that this game does not have problems behind it. If it's something like a fighting game, I'll pre-order it. If it's something like maybe like a Call of Duty that, I pre-order, Call of Duty, you know what you're getting into when you play Call of Duty. You know that, But if it's like something like a game that's just overhyped, over this, over that, just don't pre-order it. Just wait until the reviews come out. See if the game actually works, And, you won't have disappointment. I remember this is a good quote that Kratos said in the God of War 2018. Keep your expectations low and you won't be disappointed. And that's honestly how gaming has turned out to be. So when it comes to broken games, there's been a crap ton of broken games and disappointing games at launch. And I think Outriders just came out like maybe a couple weeks ago, and that game is I wouldn't say it's not as buggy or as broken as Cyberpunk, but it's still got a lot of issues, and hearing about people's characters and progress getting wiped. That's a big slap in the face. You played a game for 100 hours and all your progress is swiped. I've been playing Persona 5 Royal for about 80 hours now. I can't even imagine how I would feel if I turned on my PS5 and next thing you know, it says I have 20 hours instead of 80 hours. Literally, that would make me want to play the game ever again. It would make me want to delete it, take the disc out, and fling it across the room. Okay? So, one of the big issues I've really found with gaming, like especially right now, especially in the multiplayer scene, is the lack of 6v6 game modes and the constant push for BR, Battle Royale, Battle Passes. Ooh, Fortnite was successful. Let's try and be like Fortnite, make a Battle Royale and get all these money from these kids using these skins and items. It's so, oh my God. It's just, you don't have to be a cool multiplayer game just because you have BR, okay? Me personally, I find Battle Royales to be very boring, very stale, and it's just not fun. Maybe, any game is fun when it comes to friends, but if you're somebody like me, you don't really have anybody really to play games with, you want to play some multiplayer games just to show off, to yourself and, just get like maybe 20, 50 kills down the line. You can't do that in BR. Yeah, you can, but there's a high chance of likely that somebody in a bush is going to kill you just by sneaking up on you. And it's honestly, BRs honestly really irritate me to the point where it's just like, I don't want to play this game after my first death. At least in a typical 6v6 shooter, you could respawn, get the guy that killed you, shoot his body, maybe teabag him a little bit, just for the little revenge. Or if somebody's talking crap in chat, you could just, just show off, get all the kills, and then you probably argue with them at the end, That's the thing. Like that's something that you really miss, because a lot of people are so sensitive that people can't even take like trash talking in lobbies, in COD lobbies no more. And it's honestly really sad, growing up, seeing all the, in high school, I would always watch all these YouTube videos of like people yelling and screaming at each other in COD lobbies. It was honestly hilarious. And one time, when I was playing the Uncharted, I think it was the Uncharted 3 multiplayer on the PS3 back in the day. This is me. Me and these few guys were just sitting there just clowning with each other, just, people was trash talking, calling each other names. It was hilarious, man. Like, it was honestly really, really fun. But you can't really see a lot of that because some people are so sensitive these days that, these companies are so sensitive these days that, they're going to say it's hate speech. And this is something I want to bring up later on in the video that you might, understand. So moving on to the next part when it comes to issues I have with gaming these days is this is more on the Sony side than compared to Microsoft because, Microsoft has their hard hitters, like Halo, Gears, Fable is another good one. Forza, if you're into that sort of stuff. But this is something I've noticed has been wrong with PlayStation, like since the since the PS3 actually, and especially now, is the freaking I just don't even want to talk about this. The complete influx of blockbuster like titles, and this goes back to the Last of Us remake. Like, who asked for this Last of Us remake? Nobody wanted this. Last of Us 2 was such a crap show. You just don't even want to talk about Last of Us anymore. And it's like there's like no plans of any type of multiplayer games from what I can tell from like PlayStation itself. And I honestly feel like that's something they need to make. Remember what was that game called? PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale or something? That was like sort of PlayStation's version of Smash. Honestly, I love that game. I wasn't really into Smash Brothers really, just because, I didn't have a Nintendo console at the time because the Wii was just, I couldn't find a Wii, so I got a PS3 instead. But it's just like, what is, like, where's the new PlayStation All-Stars game? Why don't you make one of those? Or what about SOCOM is another game that people are, for a multiplayer game, like, hey, let's play SOCOM. Maybe we have to have a multiplayer game together. And this is coming from a guy that loves just playing single player games all the time. But Sony is pushing this thing where they have to have these games that are just basically playable movies in a sense. A lot of these games I've enjoyed all of the Uncharted series. Granted, Uncharted is more of an action adventure, playable movie. That's what I think. Pretty much all of Quantic Dream games are interactive movies. All the God of War games, I wouldn't say God of War 2018 was really God of War 2018. It was still a God of War game. It wasn't, for me, it wasn't really a playable movie because the combat in that game is just, it's just so good that I just don't find it that way. The same with Ghost of Tsushima. But I feel like Sony is kind of riding too hard on Naughty Dog's, ego when it comes to their high IP, their games, because especially with Uncharted and especially now at Last of Us, for some reason I feel like Sony has a hard on for Last of Us for some reason. It got all these awards at the Game Awards, and I am not being biased here, but I feel like I hear more people talking negative about Last of Us 2 than Last of Us than actually liking the game. It's rare instances where I see people who like Last of Us Part 2, but I hear more people hate Last of Us 2 than like it. That's just coming from me personally, from people who've played the game. So there's too much blockbuster games. There's no really, something, in Sony Studio that's something different. I played the first Gravity Rush game. That game is fun. I do want to play the second one soon. But, Sony shut down their Japan studio, and that was just, I've come to appreciate a lot of Japanese games, especially nowadays, because, a lot of Japanese games still try and be innovative in a sense, but, and I'm just want to move on to the last part that I feel like is really, really irritates me when it comes to gaming and stuff like this. When I was younger, here's another story. When I was younger, when I played a game when I was younger, I didn't care about certain things. I just want to play a game and have fun, and be cool about it. I grew up playing Super Mario games. I grew up playing Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, watching my brother play God of War and literally ripping, a monster's head off or something. And I'm not saying games shouldn't have a point or shouldn't have something you want to get across. I'm just saying there's too much of it. Everywhere you go, literally all these gaming companies and developers are trying to shove this social justice, political bullcrap movements down people's throat. We get it. People are being oppressed, but you don't have to always shove it down people's throats, okay? Like, I just want to play my games and enjoy stuff without having nothing shoved down my throat, okay? I don't care if this character is this way. I don't care if it's a man, a woman. I just want to enjoy a good game. I don't care. I just want to enjoy the game, play the game, and have fun. And I think, honestly, this is what's really having me hooked into Persona 5 Royale, because I do love all the characters in Persona 5. Yes, they all have different personalities. Yes. But it's just something like, it doesn't feel like I'm being forced to learn something or being forced to have something be known to me that's not already known. The game makes you feel in ways where they don't have to tell you that stuff. I don't know, but maybe I've come to a point where I'm just too old to care. Maybe 24 is too old to care. I don't know, but just these are the things that just kind of just really, really been bothering me when it comes to my issue with gaming these days, which is how I am very selective on what I play anymore and very selective on what, I want to enjoy when I game. And, I've come to realize this after Cyberpunk and Last of Us, many other games going on down the line. It's just honestly, it's honestly frustrating, because I wish I could go back to the days where I could just walk into a store, look at game art, pick up a game. Literally 90% of the time I enjoyed my games. It was like only the 10% where I looked at a game, bought it, and actually hated it. So anyway, if you guys agree with anything I've had to say about this video, or if you feel the same way about gaming in general these days, please leave a comment down below. I would like to know your opinions. Also, I do plan on streaming this Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll probably be playing maybe some Uncharted or something like that, or maybe some Call of Duty. I really don't know. But anyway, thank you all for watching the video. I hope you guys like the video, and please check out my other videos as well, because yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see y'all later. Peace out.